Okay, babes. Jude Law, Ethan Hawke, let's talk about it. There is a movie that you want to see, firstly for eye candy, because they are just two very attractive men. I would take them both at the same time. But if there is a movie where you want the eye candy, you want the aesthetics, but you also want some entrepreneurial musings, Gattaca is incredible. One of my favorite films. If you are a dry body brush user, you will not look at that the same. You will feel like Ethan Hawke in the shower after you watch the movie. But, this is such an incredible film for, discomfort and tolerance and failure and feeling like that you have everything against you in pursuit of achieving your goals. And maybe you feel a little bit like that in business at the moment, where it's like, oh my gosh, how's this going to work when I have kids? Or how is this going to work when I just don't have time? Or you can look at everyone else around you feeling like that, this is just so much easier for them, and almost feeling like that you have it so much harder. I'll be honest. I've seen so many people in business that have their partners and their husbands help them. And there have been times when I've been like, oh my gosh, if only I've had like my husband in my business, or if I had a fucking husband, how much easier this would be for me. And every time I get in that way of thinking, I think about this movie. So I'm going to give you like a quick little explanation of this particular scene in the movie, where if you can really feel as though you are just seeing so many people that it feels like that they just have the ability to run forward and it's just so much harder for you. I have a scene in the movie to talk about. So basically the movie is set in the future, where I feel like I'm going to do the worst job explaining this. But, let's just say that Ethan Hawke's character has a lot against him. He has some health issues. He's not that tall. And it's at a time where even to get particular jobs, you have to have these like particular like ratings and rankings, and he has none of that. And his brother is technically genetically superior to him. So whenever they were kids and they would race, his brother would always beat him. Ethan Hawke would have to be like, oh my gosh, my like fitness or whatever would prevent him from swimming further. He would have to basically like turn around and go back to the shore, and his brother would always win. And then it got to a point where they were swimming and his brother wanted to turn back. And Ethan Hawke was like, nah, man, let's just keep swimming. And his brother's like, are you sure? And he's like, absolutely, let's keep swimming. So they get so far out and his brother was like, we're going to turn back. This is really unsafe. And Ethan Hawke's like, no, dude, we're going to keep swimming. So his brother next minute starts drowning. So Ethan Hawke like grabs him, saves him, and swims back. And then his brother is looking at him like, what the fuck, dude? I am the superior brother. You're the one with like all of these little health problems, and you're fucking saving me like some David Hasselhoff Baywatch shit. Ethan Hawke looks at him. There is this look, and he says, word for word, I know it's word for word because I'm reading this right now. You want to know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I never saved anything for the swim back. Fucking mic drop moment from Ethan Hawke. And I remember when I saw that scene, I was sitting on the couch when I first saw this movie, and it just fucking hit me. And whenever I think about a hard point in business, or whenever there is a challenge, I always think about this moment, because it's so interesting how so many of us in business can feel like at times that we are relying on talent or determination or a good mindset, or, we can even look at people who are online creating content, doing podcasts, whatever it is. And we feel like that they almost have something that we don't possess, that they have it, like everything that we just don't have. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that before, where you can look at someone and it just feels like they are, I don't want to use the word superior, but they just have so much more working for them, even if it's just simply that they have more time or they have a more dedicated setup. And what we don't want to do is convince ourselves that we just don't have enough to achieve our goals. I have seen so many people in business that aren't particularly talented, but they have so much drive. And they just keep practicing and they keep perfecting their craft. And the person that has all of this just natural talent and ability that they've kind of been cruising by almost feels like that they even reach a point where they look at the person that had no idea what they were doing and they have just all of a sudden surpassed them. And, I see this a lot online where there are people that are so talented that get so angry at people that are doing really well. And it's because they're showing up. Like, sure, they have the life experience and the qualifications, but the people that are out here making a name for themselves are the people that are relentlessly showing up every single day, and they are just so devoted to their vision, And with this movie, and particularly in this scene with the swimming, I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that in entrepreneurship, where we give it our all and we have nothing left in the tank. And that's what Vincent, so Ethan Hawke's character, said, when he went and swam, he saved nothing for the swim back. He gave it everything that he could. And I think when we decide to be an entrepreneur, what will actually make us win and what will actually make us successful is if we don't think about pacing ourselves, if we're like, fuck even thinking about what I'm doing on Friday. Like, I'm just going to give everything my all right now. Like, if I am feeling inspired, I am going to get it all out. I am going to let my head hit the pillow when I go to bed tonight, knowing that I have done my best fucking work today and that I have been so devoted to my vision and my business. I have pushed my limits. It mightn't have been my best work, but I know that I have done my best work today with what I've had available. I think in business that if you want to achieve greatness, you need to develop a tolerance for discomfort. You need to be prepared to give everything for the swim and to have nothing left for the swim back. Because when we do this, we realize all of the untapped power that we have and how much you really have in you when you approach business like this. I think straight away to David Goggins. I love that man. I think he's amazing. And he always talks about how we have so much power and potential within us, but we almost have this ceiling on how we live and how we're going to show up. I think when it comes to entrepreneurship and achieving greatness, very much like Gattaca, it's not saving anything from the swim back. It is giving it your all. And the Olympics are on at the moment, and it's just so beautiful seeing athletes who have been working for years and years and years and years, who have devoted every minute for, say, something that is going to be 2 minutes or even less, and seeing them show up and give everything that they have. But one thing to remember is that to get to the point where they are now, they have had to give everything every single time they've shown up. Like, people don't just walk up the street and there's some athletics dude who's like, you look like an Olympian, do you want to turn up to France next year, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. The reason people get into the Olympics is because they continually give it their all. And yes, there are things to do with genetics, and yes, there are other factors as well. But at the end of the day, where everyone is right now, they have gotten to this point because of how they show up every single day and the dedication that they have and the devotion to their vision and the pursuit of whatever they are working towards. And as entrepreneurs, we have the ability to do the same thing. I think sometimes, though, we forget. And sometimes we can feel like that we get into a little bit of a rut, and then all of a sudden we can't really see, I guess, why we've started in the first place. Something that I'm going to say is that you are always going to hit the ceiling of familiarity if you are always leaving shit in the tank. If you can look at what you did yesterday and the day before and the day before that and the day before that, the month before that, whatever, and it's pretty similar and you are getting similar results, it's because you are not pushing yourself or growing or really stretching your potential and seeing what you can get out of life. Now, this isn't me saying that I expect anyone to do a 15-hour day, but this is me saying that there are times when we just do the bare minimum. We put up some B-roll reel, or we put together some little carousel and we post it and we tick the marketing of our business. and we answer our DMs and we send someone a link and we tick sales. And then we empty our inbox and we send our receipts to zero and we tick admin. And we do that every single week and we get to Friday and then we wonder, why the fuck do I not have the business that I want? So my challenge for you this week, and especially as we are moving into a new month, is how the hell are you going to stretch yourself and really push for your potential and leave nothing for the swim back? You know, every single day in online business and in any industry, there are people with less talent, less time, less money, and less resources who win every single day, because this is how they approach their business. They give it their all, they do the pitch, they relentlessly sell, they show up, they do all of the stretchy things, feeling like that, you know, it's almost like they're approaching it like, this is the last day. This is the last day. I can't do business tomorrow, so I'm going to give it my all. But so many of us show up every single day feeling like that we have the rest of our lives to run our business. And sure, we absolutely do. But where this becomes a problem is when we want the results immediately and when we know that we have greatness within our bones. And we are just feeling like that we're almost like coasting and cruising by and expecting greatness to like hit us in the face. Babe, I love you. It is not going to happen. Just to reiterate, I don't expect you to hustle. I don't expect you to have a 15-hour day. I don't expect you to lock your kids in a cupboard so you can get some work done. But sometimes this is just the simple shift in your mindset and how you approach every single day. It is you holding your standards. It is you having strong boundaries. It is you carrying yourself in a particular way, even as simple as how you sign off an email. So if I'm going to leave you with this today, babe. So what does leaving nothing for the swim back look like for you today? What are you doing? If you were to leave everything out, you know, really give it your all, what would you be doing? How is your head going to hit the pillow tonight knowing that you've done your best work? How is that going to feel? What are you going to be doing? Think about it, put it into action, get it done. I love this. I love you. I love you more than Cadbury Dairy Milk, Marvelous Creations, Rocky Road. You know what? I wish Whittaker's did this. Oh my gosh, Whittaker's with creamy milk. Fuck me up, daddy. I would love that. Oh my God, just don't read the ingredients. But this is just so good. I can easily demolish a family block of chocolate. I'm not even sad about that. I love you more than that. I love you more than my hair. I've had it cut off. I feel like I've got like 90s supermodel hair. It just looks truly fantastic. I love you more than that. I love you more than my gorgeous heater. It is putting my electricity up a stack. I will say my energy provider has this hot little app and you can see daily your energy use and how much it's costing you. I know some people would be like, who wants to look at that? As a Virgo, I love that. I love the data. I love to see what I have plugged in and what I have used and how much it is costing me. Obsessed with that. I am randomly obsessed with myself at the moment, which feels like a very big thing considering I'm on day 2 of my period. I feel like this is normally a time to hate oneself, but then we are in fact in Leo season. So that could be part of it. So I love you more than that. We are back. We're back. I'm so sorry we had a little break on the podcast, but we're back. We're hot and I've got some even hotter episodes for you. Mwah. Love you, babe.